In this practice, the number of bacteria in a culture is governed by the logistic equations. Initially, n sub 0 bacteria are present. After 1 hour, it is observed that n sub 1 bacteria are present. Find the number of bacteria after t hours when the maximum number of bacteria that can survive is n sub t. The maximum number of bacteria is given by the n sub t's. So this is a logistic model, population growth. N is a population's number of bacteria. Change of the number of bacteria can be expressed. A is a proportional constant, n times n sub t minus n. We introduce this factor n sub t minus n. If you substitute n equal n sub t, then dn dt becomes 0 because of these factors. So n is increasing up to the n sub t. Then growth rate of the population becomes 0. So this is a logistic model. Then we'd like to solve these equations, differential equations. So this is the separable equations. So we correct the n-related term to the left-hand side. So dn over n sub t minus n, and a dt, and then integrate the both sides of the equations. Left-hand side is expressed n sub t n plus 1 over n sub t minus n dn equal a dt. So if you calculate inside of the parentheses, it becomes n sub t minus n, and this is n sub t minus n plus n. Then n is going to be cancelled out. This n sub t is cancelled with 1 over n sub t's. Then we can return to the original equations. Once we change the form of the equations, we could perform the integrals. This becomes natural log n minus natural log nt minus n equal a n sub t t plus integration constant. So this means n over n sub t minus n equals c exponential a n sub t t. So this is the solutions from the differential equations. Then with the initial conditions at the t equals 0 equal n sub 0. This n at t equal 1 n sub 1. So we have two conditions. So from the each conditions, first conditions, you can express n sub 0, substitute n equal n sub 0 over n sub t minus n sub 0. This is equal to the c. From the second equations, n sub 1 over n sub t minus n sub 1 equals c exponential a n sub t. We can determine the c and also the a. We can determine these two unknown constants, c and a, using these two equations. Then we'd like to express the n from these equations. From these equations, you can express the n is n sub t c exponential a n sub t t over 1 plus c exponential a n sub t t. Then we can use these two equations, substitute into this equation. Then finally answer is given by n sub t n sub 0 n sub 1 minus over n sub 0 n sub t minus n sub 0 over n sub t minus n sub 1 to the tth. n sub t minus n sub 0 plus n sub 0 n sub 1 over n sub 0 n sub t minus n sub 0 over n sub t minus n sub 1 to the t. This is the answer to this practice.